Welcome back, student. Today we are going to see the third unit. Okay, in the previous lecture we saw how to do the XML and what is XML, what is XML schema, what is DTD. Okay, in the second unit we have finished all those things. In the third unit we are going to see the jQuery introduction. In the third unit we have the jQuery and we have the JavaScript. Okay, and we have the JSON. We have the JSON and JavaScript as well as jQuery. The combination of these three we have in the unit 3. Okay, so today we are going to start about the jQuery. What is jQuery we will see. Okay, and we will see what are the things are there and why we need to use the jQuery. Already we have all the things like HTML, CSS, XML, but why we are using this jQuery we will see here. Okay, so what is the introduction of jQuery is a lightweight, write less, do more JavaScript library. Means for this we no need to write more. It does not require more space, but it will perform more operation with the less weight. Okay, less storage. Because of that it is called lightweight. It will not burden on your website, because if we have some kind of libraries, okay, so first it will load the library, then it will load the page, so it will take so much time. So in jQuery it will not take much time to load, so our website performance also very good. And this is most of the uh, big companies are using jQuery. We will see that. Okay, the purpose of jQuery is to make it much easier to use JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is nothing but like some scripts are there, means some sort of codes. With the help of that we can perform some operation at the server side. Okay, so that also we will going to see. So jQuery takes a lot of common tasks that require many lines of JavaScript code to accomplish and wrap them into method that you can call with a single line of code. What jQuery is doing, jQuery stands for like JavaScript query. So whatever the JavaScript has many common tasks that will be wrapped into a method and form in a single code. So because of that it is a lightweight, less write less, do more. Okay, and for this what the Java query library contains: HTML, hypertext markup language, DOM manipulation, okay, document object model, CSS, cascading style sheet manipulation, HTML event methods. Like event means when you click button, load button, okay, show button, hide button. So this kind of events in HTML that also you can perform in using the jQuery. Effects and animation, like in the website most of the time you can see some animations were there, some effects. Okay, so that also can be possible with the help of jQuery with less code and perform more. Okay, effects and animation, then Ajax and utility. But here, as I told you, many of the biggest companies on the web use jQuery, such as Microsoft, Google, IBM, Netflix. Okay, so this why they are using jQuery, because it does not require more data to load. It will load fast, and whatever you are looking for that will be appear in very fast manner. Okay, next, how we need to write the jQuery syntax. Okay, the jQuery syntax is like this is a syntax. Okay, so before that we will see here jQuery use select query, HTML element and perform actions on them. First they will select, then it will perform the action. Select and perform the action. The jQuery syntax is tailor-made for selecting HTML element and performing some action on the element. jQuery use CSS syntax to select element. Okay, so here this is a syntax. Okay, what is the syntax? First dollar, okay, select, selector means whatever the selector is there. In place of selector, maybe you will have the P, A, okay, H1, any tag can be there in the selector. Dot action, dot action. In the dot action, you need to give some action. What do you want to perform here? Okay, like show, hide, whatever the thing. In the coming slides, we will see the example also. So, okay, what is a dollar sign? Is define access jQuery. Okay, it will define or access jQuery. Second one, what is selector? Selector to query or find HTML elements. Okay, what is a selector? To query or find HTML elements. What is jQuery action? To be performed on element. What do you want to perform on that element? Okay, when you see the example, then you will easily understand. So here the example is this. Okay, so dollar this, whatever the this means, wherever you are writing, in which tag you are writing, that is considered as this. Dot hide, hides the current element. Like example, if we have P, okay, okay, if you have in the P tag welcome, this will be hide after performing this operation. Okay, now P dot hide, hide all P elements. So wherever the P elements are there in the HTML, that will be hide. Okay, next dollar dot test. What is this dot test? This dot will represent as class, and hash will represent as ID. Okay, dot will represent as class, hash will represent as ID, the same as HTML. Already we have done this. Hash, that means ID, dot is nothing but class, hides all element with class is equals to test. So wherever the class is test, that will be hide. Here wherever the ID is test, that will be hide. Okay, so here this is a simple example related to our syntax. Now we will see the document ready event. Document ready event, all jQuery method are inside a document ready event. So that will be available inside the document ready event. The ready event is executed as soon as the document is fully loaded. So here dollar document dot ready function, okay, dot ready function, okay, and whatever the method you want to go here, means you want to write, that you can write here, and it will end with semicolon. Okay, it will end with semicolon. Clear? And this all the function is written in ready, in the ready, like this. Okay, so this is an example. Now here we have the selectors. As I told you, selectors, you can select directly like P, A, H1, like as I shown you here. Here this P, or class or ID. In the same way you can select. So here the jQuery selector are one of the most important part of jQuery library. jQuery selector allow you to select a manipulate HTML element. If you want to do any kind of change, that you can change with the help of jQuery selector. jQuery selector are used to find or select HTML element based on their name, ID, classes, types, attribute, values of attribute and much more. It based on the existing CSS selector. Already we have learned in the first unit CSS selectors, okay, and in additional it has some own custom selectors. All selector in jQuery start with the $sign and parenthesis, okay. This is a all selector in jQuery that should be start with dollar, okay. And you can see the previous video for CSS selector. There we have a six selector that we can see in the video, in the previous video, okay. Now the element selector, the jQuery element selector select element based on the element name. You can select all P elements on the page like this, okay. Like if you want to select all the P's in the page, that you can do with the help of $P, okay. Or you can select ID selector, or you can use the class selector, okay. So let's see the example, okay. Now see the example where a user click on button, all P element will be hidden, okay. So here we are writing $document dot ready function, and what are the function we are writing here? This is a function. What are the functions? Just $button. Wherever the button I have in the HTML, when I click on that, again I am writing for that function, and how many P's are there in your page, that will be hide with this, okay, hide with this scripting language, okay. So here the simple the document and ready function. In the ready function we are writing the function button function. We are applying the function to the button, and what it will perform? It will perform $P should be hide. Wherever the P is there, that should be hide in all the document, okay. This is a simple thing. So it is very less, but it will perform more. Now how the ID selector, okay. Here just we are giving to some element like P, H1, okay, H1 you can give any element directly, but I want to give ID selector. ID selector use the ID attribute of an HTML tag to find the specific element. So this is like what it is means, how we are selecting the element here in the $P. In place of that we need to select $hash and whatever the your ID. See the example here. When a user click on the button, the event element with ID test will be hidden. How to perform that? $document.ready function. This is very important. After that only you need to write the function. Here $button.click function, the same as the previous one. What is the slight difference between the previous one and here? The difference is this hash test. What is a test? Test is a ID, okay. And what we were doing in the previous one, just we are writing here directly the element. directly the element. So what is the difference? Why we need to use in place of this means, in some time I don't want to hide all the piece. I want to hide some of the piece. So which paragraph tag do you want to hide? In that you need to write the ID is test. That paragraph will be hide. Rest of the paragraph will be available for the users. Okay, so this is a slight different. Next is the jQuery class selector. What is this? This is also almost same, but the change is here in the third line, dot test. And what we done in the previous one, we did the hash test. Okay, so this is a class and that is a ID. Okay, so this is about the ID selector and the class selector. Okay, so this is a syntax. First we need to write the document, then we need to write where we need to perform. I need to perform the operation on the button. Then after the button, when I click on the button, what will happen? Dot test. Wherever the dot test class is there, that should be hide. Okay, so this is performed by the jQuery. Okay, and some of the selectors are there, like I just now I shown you, like dot and hash and directly p. So in place of that you can do like this. There is a syntax. Okay, star select all element. In place of this test, if you write star, then all the things in the page that will be hide. Okay, dollar this is a current HTML element. Wherever you are writing the code, that is this. Okay, dollar p dot intro, this is a paragraph. In the paragraph, dot intro is a class. With that we can select all p element with class intro. Wherever the class intro is there, that will be select. Here p is to first. Select the first p element. Select first p element. Dollar UL unordered list, and list is to first, means select the first list element of the first unordered list. Okay, so you can give elaborate in sub also, like here I am going unordered list first child element of every UL. Select the first LI. Okay, dollar href we will give the reference, like select all element with the href attribute. Wherever the attribute you are selecting, you can select with this command. You no need to go and check manually where the href is there. Okay, and you no need to click on find and all the things. When you use the jQuery selector, just you type here, then you will get all the href. Dollar a target is blank. What is the use of this? Means whenever you click any kind of links, that will open in the new window. If you write like this, it will open in the new window. That is select all a element with the target attribute equals to blank. Okay, when you click, then it will be a move to next page, not blank. Select all element with the target attribute value not equal to blank. Okay, and dollar button, select all button element and input element of type is equals to button. So this is some tr, table row, event, table row, out. Okay, so this is about all syntax. There are so many, you can create the syntax. This is like how we will create the jQuery selectors you can use in this format. So the syntax is same of jQuery. Okay, what is the jQuery syntax? Dollar selector and dot action. Dot action. What the action we are performing? Selecting. Okay, or you can do any kind of operation here, show, hide. So this is about the jQuery selectors. Next, jQuery event method. In the jQuery event method, okay, what is jQuery event method? jQuery is tailor method made to respond to event in a HTML page. Okay, and all the different visitors action that a web page can respond to are called events. Okay, what is the event? Event is all the different visitor actions that our web page can respond to are called events. An event represent the precious moment when something happens. The term fierce or fired is often used when events. Example, the key press event is fired the moment you press a key. Example, moving a mouse over an element, selecting a radio button, clicking on the element. Okay, when you do this kind of things, then it is called event. Like after finishing the form submission, you can click the submit button. When you take your mouse like male, female, radio button like this, okay, male, female. So when you performing, that is also a event. And sometime when you take your mouse, then it will change the color. When you take your mouse, then the link will activate. Okay, link. So in this, all the things are events. Okay, this all will are events. So here the some common events are available in the events DOM. Okay, document object model. Okay, so here we have the some of the events with the help of keyboard. Okay, form events when the form open or something, document or window event. So these are the some of the keyboard events, form events, document or window events. Okay, click when key press, when submit, when load. Okay, double click, when you click double click, key down. With the help of keyboard, we need to click the down arrow button. Change, resize, mouse entered, key up, arrow button, focus and scroll. Mouse leave means blur. Okay, and when you leave the mouse, when you click or leave that time, on loaded. So these all the some of the common events of DOM. DOM is document object model. Okay, and let's see some example for all this. How many are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. 11 are there, and one by one I will show you like how we need to write for the key press, how we need to write for the submit. Okay, let's see here. Here dollar, okay, dollar document dot ready. The document dot ready method allow us to execute the function when the document is fully loaded. Second one, click. What is click? The click method match an event handler function to an HTML event. The function is executed when the user clicks on the HTML. Okay, when you see this example, then you can easily understand. The following example says when a click event fires on a P element, hide the current P element. So like see $P comma click function, what should be happen? This dot hide. So whatever, wherever is this P, that should be hide. That should be hide. Okay. Fine. Next, double click. Okay. Next one is double click. The double click method attach an event handler function to HTML element. Like see here, P double click. Whenever you click double click, this will be hide. Means wherever the current place, like see here, what is that? Current HTML element. Okay, whatever the current HTML element, what is the current HTML element now? We have P. So this will be hide when you double click. Okay, when you double click. Fourth one is mouse enter. Mouse enter. The mouse attach an event handler function to an HTML event. The function is executed when the mouse pointer enters the HTML element. Okay, what is this hash p1? Hash p1 is a ID. Okay, this ID dot mouse enter function, you will get the alert box. Alert, you entered p1, then you will get some alert box like this on the screen. You entered p1. Okay, like this it will appear on your main screen. So this is mouse entered, you will get the alert box. Next one, mouse leave. After performing that, when you mouse leave method attach an event handler function to HTML element, the function is executed when the mouse pointer leave the HTML element. So here dollar, example is dollar, this is a ID dot mouse leave function alert by you now leave this. So when you click and stop, then it will show you this alert message. Okay. Sixth one is a mouse down. Okay, the mouse down method attach an event handler function to an HTML element. The function is executed when the left, middle or right mouse button is pressed. So this is mouse down means whenever we select any, mouse has three buttons, left, middle, right. So here we have applied some this selector is, what is my selector? My selector is P1, ID P1 dot mouse down, you can give any name here. Okay, mouse down function, you will get the alert message mouse down over P1. So you can write anything in this, it will display on the screen. It will display on the screen. Whatever the performance you are doing, if you write the related information in the alert box, then it will be displayed on main screen. So this is about the sixth one, mouse down. Now seventh one is mouse up. The mouse up method attach an event handler function to an HTML element. The function is executed when the left, middle or right button is released. Okay, so here it will show you mouse up our P1. That means sixth one is when you press any button, left, middle or right, then it will display. Mouse up will be, mouse up function will perform on when we release the left, middle and right mouse button. Okay, eighth one, this is hover. Okay, this is hover means most of the time it will say like mouse over. Mouse over means when I take my mouse on the any element, on any element like radio button or link or button, anything, at that time this will perform. So let's see this. Take two function and is a combination of mouse enter and mouse leave method. The first function is execute when the mouse entered the HTML element, and second function is execute when the mouse leave the HTML. In the previous we saw mouse enter and mouse leave, so we wrote the two different function. Okay, two different function in different places. If you combine that in the hover, okay, so here you need to write in a single, here you can write two function and execute at the same time. When you press, then it will show you entered. When you release, then it will show you by you now leave P1. Okay, here we are not clicking anything, just what we are doing here, hover means when you place your mouse, then it will display the alert message. When you release your mouse, then it will display this message. Okay, by you now leave please P1, like this. Ninth one, what is the ninth one? Ninth one is a focus. What is this focus? Focus method attach an event handler function to an HTML form field. The function is executed when the form field get focus. Means here you can see the example. Okay, here dollar input selector dot focus action function. This dot CSS background color this. So we are getting the color, okay, from the CSS. Input dot CSS we are getting the focus and changing the color. So this also you can do with in HTML using Java query, okay, jQuery. What is blur? Blur method is attached to event handler function to an HTML form field. The function is executed when the form field lose focus. Dollar input dot blur function, this dot CSS background color should be this. So whenever you are applying, some other color will be displaying here, like example red, and here is white. So it will be blur, and that will be like you can take any kind of color. Okay, so this is focus and blur. Last one is the on method, on method attach one or more event handler for the selector. Example $p. P is a selector dot on click function, this is hide. Okay, attach multiple event handler to a P. So now you can attach more event handler to the P. Next example, $p on mouse entered function, okay, dollar this dot CSS background color lightweight. Okay, then next is mouse leave, the continue mouse leave function as this dot CSS background color light blue. Okay, when you click mouse entered, then you will color will be light gray, then after leaving color will be light blue. So click function, when you click, this is mouse over, when you click the color should be yellow. So dollar this dot CSS background color yellow. Okay, So every time you need to remember this. This is a syntax of the jQuery. Okay, this is a dollar, this is a selector, and this is a action. Okay, whatever the action you are performing, that is, this is selector and this is starting of the jQuery syntax. Okay, so in the next class we will see the HTML manipulation. Okay, next class we will see these three: text, HTML and value. Okay, so what we have learned today, we saw the jQuery syntax, first one. Okay, we saw jQuery syntax is the first one. Second one, we saw the selectors. How many selectors are there? 2 selectors, ID selector, CSS selector here. Okay, then after that we saw the jQuery selectors, how the jQuery selectors can be performed. Okay, and fourth one is jQuery event method. So event method, we have 11 event method, and this all we saw the example. In the next class, practically we will do with the HTML manipulation. Okay, we will solve this. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class.